Okay, it's been about 6 months since I started reviewing the Arsenal Strike 1 pistol, and the reason why it's been this long for me to limp it across the 1,000 round mark is because this pistol has had some major durability and reliability issues. Within about 500 rounds or so, I started to notice green polymer falling out at the range, and the trigger was feeling weird. It was recoiling odd and hard, having major reliability stuff. So I stopped, pulled it apart, figured out that it had been slamming hard against the frame, breaking the polymer, so that wasn't good. So I got online and ordered a DPM buffer system that has stronger recoil springs, has a secondary buffer spring system. Threw it in there, but I also figured that the trigger was odd, so I thought maybe there had been polymer that had made it up inside the trigger or the firing pin channel. So I took all the firing pin assembly apart and found that that had broken. Not only had the firing pin broken, but the firing pin carrier, it has an interesting assembly in there, had also broken. So I was like, oh no. So I reached out to APF. They could not help me. APF is the current importer. Since this pistol was made before their importation of the pistol, before they themselves had become the importer, it's not covered by any of their warranties. So could not get firing pin parts, could not get a new frame, nothing. Reached out to Arsenal, Italy, and they were very pleasant, but they were unable to get me parts. They kept saying that they were sending them, and months would pass. So then I decided, okay, these are never coming. So I looked at the firing pin assembly, reassembled it in a way that would allow it to fire, but now it's not a safe pistol for me to carry or do anything super hard with. So I'll continue to shoot it and keep an eye on it. At this point, I'm kind of wanting to see what's going to break next, but it's a shame. The gun shoots excellently, very accurate, but if you want to get into this kind of pistol, into the Strike 1 family of pistols, I would not order one that does not say APF on the slide. And quite honestly, I would go with either an Archon Type B or a Salient. Those seem to be good and fast and excellent pistols, but these, at least early production Arsenals, they have some problems.
Okay guys, so that pretty much concludes my, I guess, initial testing on this Arsenal Strike 1. It has been 6 months and 1,076 rounds in those 6 months to try to get this around. As I mentioned earlier, the reason why this has taken so long is all the parts breakages that I was having and malfunctions, and I never really have figured out what's the pistol's deal. So it shoots excellently. As I just kind of running around showing you guys, I've shot it, you know, off and on through all these months, and it recoils good. It hits right where the sights are aiming. The triggers are fantastic, but then it'll have all these problems. And I've never had a more fragile pistol, never had more problems with the pistol. And keep in mind, I kind of figured out how to get a Nambu Type 14 working okay. And I still have had more problems with this Arsenal than that Nambu Type 14, which is a surprise. Was unable to get a firing pin replaced, and when I went to go buy my own, they're expensive to get them shipped to America, and they're out of stock. Parts breakages on the frame, it was shattering the frame, so I had to put in a buffer system to try to stop that from shattering the frame. It doesn't seem to matter whether I had the original system in there or the new DPM system. The jams just never went away. I shot 136 rounds today just to wrap up to get some B-roll footage. Didn't have one issue. Now I had it pretty wet with Lucas oil. Maybe it's a lubrication issue, but I don't know. I'll do a run, I'll take it in, tons of jams, can't hardly get through anything. Mainly failure to feeds is what's happening. I've talked to Tom Wilk, I'll show you guys his channel. He's really the man who has all the different variants of these pistols, and he's put tens of thousands of rounds through all those different pistols. He has a very good understanding about all the different pluses and minuses of these variants. One thing I will say again, if I haven't mentioned it before, if you guys try to get into this Strike One system, first things first, I would not go with the actual Arsenal Strike One. There is the Salient, that's supposed to be amazing, the Archon, that's supposed to be amazing, and if you are stuck on the Arsenal, let's say you want the Arsenal, you have got to get one that says APF on the slide. That's the current importer. I've learned the hard way that APF will not support these pistols. Even if they're the sole importer right now in America, if these pistols were imported that you have before APF got control of it, they won't touch it. They won't do any warranty. They won't send you any parts. They won't help you. And Arsenal, when I reached out to them, they were unable to get parts to me as well. They tried. They were very pleasant for the couple months I went back and forth with them, but then they stopped answering my emails. So parts never came. I'm not sure why our Arsenal in Italy wasn't able just to send me a firing pin carrier. That's all I wanted. I'm not sure, guys. There's something about the pistol that I love. It just feels good, shoots incredible. It's super fast, but I can't in good conscience say go out and buy them unless you want to tinker with it. I have heard that like polishing the feed ramps can help, and doing some magazine modifications, that's what Tom Wilk was saying, could help. But all in all, besides just an interesting piece of firearm technology, I would not rely on this for your life. So if you want to go with something that's super flat shooting and isn't a Glock, Glocks are great, but I know guys sometimes get Glock burnout. I do as well. The Steyr pistols are great. I really like the Steyr M series pistols. They shoot flat. They're weird, but they work good. And as odd as it sounds, with all these AccuShoot videos that I've made, the PX4 Storm, just a standard, that one's a police surplus trade-in. PX4 Storm from Beretta. If you look at it under time, it's probably the fastest. It is hammer fired, but Langdon Tactical, if you want to dance with theirs, they've ironed some of that out. So that'll be the end of the video, guys. Thanks for sticking around this long and watching it. I've been Ivan. We're out here in the wonderful Oregon wilderness, and I will catch you next time. Thanks.